Good evening, everyone. This is Henry Gambell with SimplerOptions.com, and in tonight's free video I wanted to take a look at StarBucks, but also more importantly just the concept of what to do when you get hit with something like a downgrade. So StarBucks was downgraded today. It took a pretty healthy hit here at the beginning of the day, but what are some of the things that you can use to decide whether or not you're still on the right side of this trade? One of the most helpful things that I like to use, and we're looking at essentially just our standard deviation channels that we like using here, with the main core of the idea being the 21 EMA here right at the middle of your charts. And I'm going to compare this with Tesla so we can just share some ideas on it. The first one in this, anytime you do see two closes below your 21 EMA, it kind of gets me on the side of being a little bit more cautious in the underlying. It's not as easy to come out and do something like buying directional calls, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the trend is over. We've covered this in a lot of the free videos, and what I like to do is step back and look at just clean price action and think to myself, what is the current swing that's going on? What is the current pattern? Well, I would say that it is a bullish move kind of based off of this. Now, I'm not trying to draw a perfect channel or anything like that. I'm just saying that this has been the general bullish trend that Starbucks has been in. So, from or inside this move, this is where I want to begin comparing these swings. Now, there are several times where you'll go through these levels and they will be broken. But notice how Starbucks had a very healthy decline here. But did that do anything to change the sentiment of the stock? Not at all, because it went on to make a new high after that, saying that, Starbucks can withstand drops like that and it's not a big problem. So what I will do is run swing highs to swing lows and compare them to the move that we're going through now. Now, this would suggest that you could have seen just a little bit more downside in Starbucks today, but ultimately what I'm pointing out is that this downgrade does not kill your stock. You're still in a nice bullish trend as defined by previous corrections, and then we can come in and complement this with a retracement from your previous swing low to swing high. As it hits that 618, that's just one more thing that complements the idea that the trend is still intact, and it will allow you to continue to keep playing this. Now, I think this was a decent example, and it was one of the reasons why we worked to start picking up some Starbucks positions today. But one other where it really reminded me of this was back with Tesla. So if we look at this and add our studies back in, you can see where, this one on its downgrade, and it was downgraded on March the 2nd. So it was this candle right here was the day that this was downgraded. This one was even easier to look at just from a technical perspective as opposed to trying to give the downgrade any credit, because it's still holding very nicely above the 21 EMA. Okay, so that's part of what keeps us in this bullish sentiment. And then if we do exactly the same thing with this one, then we would just come back. Let's label that March 2nd candle. And now that I've got that day labeled, all I want to show you is the exact same concept going back in time. So this was the day that it got downgraded, nice little 3-day drop. Compare that drop to some of the declines that we've seen previously. This is showing you that nothing in that move was out of line, and Tesla continues to move fairly symmetrically. I've got the exact same thing going now. It went through it just a bit today, but you can still use 245 in a very similar way. So this symmetry, this recognition of the trend and trying to work it inside of it is one of the more helpful things that I have found for any given chart, but especially when you hear news on something, don't just immediately believe what you're being told. Instead, stick to your trading plan, stick to the trend, and I think that will help. So, on the topic of trading with the trend, just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of Tucker's free webinar that is going to be on this Thursday. This is April the 14th from 7 to 8 Central. He's going to share with you some of the stuff that he's been using to work on trading with the trend, and I really do enjoy this type of stuff for my trading as well. So, if that's something you're interested in, I hope to see you on Thursday. Otherwise, I will talk to you at the next free video.